I think humiliation is a very difficult thing to describe, but I think humiliation is when someone tries to bring someone down to their level. They think that you are above them, and they want to hurt you, humiliate you, bring you down to their level, so that you have no more self-respect, and so that you lose the respect you have for yourself, and others lose the respect they have for you.
Until independence in 1960, the north of Somalia was a British protectorate, British Somaliland. Today, Somaliland is a self-proclaimed republic which is not recognized by the international community or by other Somali leaders. This film has largely been produced in this northern part of the country. What we see here are the streets of Hargeisa, the capital. Hargeisa has been bombed and destroyed in 1988, and clear signs of destruction are still visible in the city, although a lot of reconstruction has already been carried out. This is me. I try to dress according to the local traditions. I wear a Somali dress and a headscarf, which I bought the day I arrived. The Sora group wanted to improve health services in the 80s. This is the prison where they were kept in solitary confinement for almost a decade.
My name is Osman, Dr. Osman Abdi Maigak. I'm a medical doctor.
My name is Mohammed Baroud Ali.
My name is Abdullah Ali, and I've got good nickname Olad.
My name is Isa Urakte, an engineer.
My name is Ahmed Muhammad Madar, a school teacher.
The prisoners developed the language through the wall in order to communicate with each other.
Most of us were in solitary confinement cells, and we needed to communicate with each other. This language, which is similar to the Morse code, started with adjacent people in adjacent cells doing that. Those are two sounds that you can make on a wall. And two friends of ours started making this into an alphabet. For example, that's an A, B, C, D, E, and a combination of those two sounds make all the way to Z. And we started telling other people in the adjacent cells as well. So in the morning when the outside door is open, you have a chance to listen to the soldier. When he goes away, when his footsteps go away, you can stop next to the door and tell your friend that learn the alphabet through the wall. And maybe within a day, he will start also communicating with you in the language. And the more you use this, the more you become faster and an expert in the language. And this was one of the most useful things, because we could talk to, there were 3-4 doctors among us. If you felt you were ill, you could talk to the doctor, and although he can't give you any medicine, yet it will help you psychologically that the doctor said you are okay, so you'll feel much better. And we talked about anything under the sun. You have no reservations because there is a wall between you, so you can talk about anything through the wall.
I heard that you read Anna Karenina.
Yeah, Anna Karenina through the wall. Yeah, a friend of mine read it through the wall here for me. Yeah, Anna Karenina was a really good book, and yeah, we can put it used to.
Welcome.
I think the worst experience I had was once I was one of the many times they put me in jail. They put me in jail for things like, for instance, once they said I was planning to escape from the country. And I spent 6 days in jail for that. Now, come on. I mean, why didn't you wait until I tried to escape and then arrest me? Why arrest me from my house and say that I was planning to escape? And they put me in jail, and they put me in a cell on my own, but I didn't have a toilet. And right in front of of the place where they put me, there was a big toilet, and it had no doors. And there was the cell next to me was full of men, of criminals, of thieves, and I don't know, just men, all behind the bars. And so I called out and I said, I need to go and use the bathroom. And that's after I had been the first lady of the country. And they said, well, you want to use the bathroom? There's the bathroom. You use everybody's bathroom. There, you're not better than the others. There's the bathroom they use. And I thought, how can I go and use a bathroom with no doors, facing a cell full of men, full of criminals and people who were, And I just came out of my cell and I just looked at those men and I said, listen, I am going to use that bathroom. And would you be watching your mother or your sister if she was using a toilet and she had no door? Is this the kind of men you are, that you would watch a woman using a bathroom? And they said no. And the first one said, they turned around and they made everybody in the cell turn the other way until I finished using the bathroom. And that was one of the most emotional moments of my time. And the police were so shocked because they couldn't get their objective. They couldn't get me to be humiliated and using a bathroom with all these men watching and shouting at me. So that's another form of resistance, and resisting humiliation.
Women and children live in the countryside, which is also being called the interior. Livestock is the pride and resource of Somali pastoralists. Much of this livestock is traditionally being exported to the Arab countries. Somalia does not only consist of the major 6 clan families who are mostly pastoralists, but also of so-called minorities. These minorities are occupationally specialized caste-like groups: shoemakers, metalworkers, barbers, etc. They are outcasts. These minorities suffer constant humiliation.
I'm chairman of the Madiban minority community in the refugee camp, Kakuma, Kenya. This group I can say that they are one of the most unfortunate communities in the world, because they are the only occupational group, one of the only occupational groups in Somalia who make shoes or metal workers or thread weavers or barbers. Yet, because of this occupation, they are humiliated. The reward of their contribution to society became humiliation.
The Somalis have experienced it with foreigners for most of the past century, and they have been abused and dominated and insulted and humiliated by foreigners on so many occasions. And generally the Somalis are proud people. And many foreigners find it very difficult, really, to see that there are non-Westerners who can be really proud.
Today, the world is running into the global village, where everyone has a share of responsibility to the community, where colors or religions, taboos, or nationalities plays anymore that role that has divided before these brothers, these communities of the same village. I think that economically, politically, any country could no longer is able to stand alone. The property belongs to all.
The international community is usually the one that encourages dictators and oppressors like that to progress. Without mentioning any names, I mean, you have government dictators who have millions and billions of dollars in banks. Those billions of dollars were not generated through a salary that they earned or a reward that they were given by the people they were heading. Those billions came from money that belonged to the people, that was given by the international community. And the international community should act intelligently and fairly and honestly, and not allow oppressors to accumulate so much of the people's money. I think the international world has different standards. It preaches human rights and fairness and so on in literature in Europe. But then when that humiliation and when that aggression and when that hurt is taking place in a poor, remote, developing country like Somaliland, nobody wants to be bothered. Let them stew in their own juice. So the international community is to blame, and I hope you have very strong cupboards in which you can lock up your conscience, because all the civilians who died here died of bombs that were manufactured by people in a developed country. And those poor kids and those poor women and those civilians were not military, they were not people who had done anything other than be born in a particular place in a geographical location, period. That was their crime. That was the crime they were being punished for, that they were being humiliated for.